Hello Wargamers, my name is Dragonheart, the Prince of Wales, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we will be diving into Warhammer the Old World and looking at my favourite YouTubers within the hobby space. Doing this video is always quite subjective. The 10 people in this list are the 10 that I watch on a regular basis, the ones that I enjoy the most. There are many good YouTube channels out there that do top quality content, but these are the ones that I gravitate towards and I find very entertaining, very enjoyable. Before we get into this, I would love to say a massive thank you to Jackosaurus for becoming a channel member. If you wish to become a channel member or a Patreon, please check out the links below. Without further ado, here are my top 10 YouTubers for Warhammer the Old World. So the first YouTuber that we have on my list at number 10 is Malign Musings. Now, this is a rather left field kind of selection. Malign Musings is a relatively small channel within the Warhammer Old World space, and he doesn't do hobby videos really. He doesn't do battle reports or anything like that, but he does data videos. If you're into tournaments, if you're into seeing what the current meta is and looking at the data, looking at what factions have been selected the most, looking at which factions are not represented very well on the tabletop, looking at the recent sort of tournaments and the win percentages, looking at even with the factions that are winning, what units are being brought to the table on a regular basis, what ones are more optimized, what ones are not optimized, all of that good stuff. He has a lot of videos on this. If we click on his videos back here, just to give you a quick kind of synopsis of what he's got. He's talking about the Chaos release for this. He does do some new stuff as well. But here we go. He's got like 100% win rate here for an army there. You've got the meta for the Lizard Men. You've got, what else is Lizard Men? No, I say he hasn't got battle report. He's actually got a battle report, which I didn't even realize he had. So I'll be watching that at some point soon. He talks about the scenery by here. He's talking about the meta for the dwarves. We've got the dwarf release. You've got the 2 Royal Clan tournament wins by here. But the majority of his content is meta focused. So I just find it intriguing that there's not many channels out there that does this kind of thing. So I want to put Malign Musings on here because quite often I'll be doing some painting in the background, or I'll be just getting on with something, and I'll stick his video on in the background or in the living room or something, and I'll have him sort of just discussing and talking about like what's happening in tournaments and stuff like that. I find it really insightful, and that's why I've chosen Malign Musings on this list. Next up, we have Jordan Sorcery. Now, if I say to you, Hobbit, right? Bear with me, Hobbit. You are in Bilbo's home, in his hut, in his hole under the ground. You're sitting there. Bilbo puts out his best cutlery, his best china. He makes you a lovely meal, and he pours you a vintage fine ale that he's got out of the cupboard from somewhere. And you sit down with Bilbo, and you chat to him, and you reminisce about the good old days. And it gives you a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling in your tum-tum. That's what I feel when I watch Jordan Sorcery. I mean it in the most loving way possible. I love watching his videos. He doesn't just focus on Warhammer the Old World. He does everything. He does 40k, he does Age of Sigmar, he does other game systems as well, not just Warhammer. But he has got a fantastic series, which I'm going to show you on the on his channel by here if I can find it. It is such a good channel to watch. Here we go, Making of Warhammer Fantasy Battles. This playlist by here is so good. So you've got like 1st edition, he goes up to 5th and 6th edition, 7th edition. So obviously we're waiting for his 8th edition video to drop by here. I've been watching all of these videos. They're very good quality. Like I said, he is such a great storyteller, probably one of the best storytellers within the Warhammer YouTube space, I would say. And he is somebody that I wholeheartedly would recommend watching. So if you haven't already, go and check out Jordan Sorcery. Next up, we have Tabletop Tactics. Now, Tabletop Tactics are probably one of the best battle report channels out there. Their battle reports are so clean, they're so well edited, they are so great on a visual standpoint, they're very aesthetically pleasing. I can't give them enough praise for their battle reports. But the reason why they're not higher on my list is because they don't focus an awful lot on the old world. You can subscribe to the Tabletop Tactics app on the Play Store, on Apple Play Store or Google Play Store, and you can, I think it's like $5.99 or something like that a month, and you get like the back catalogue of all their battle reports, so you'll get access to all of their old world battle reports. But I'm primarily focusing on free content, and if I just scroll down by here, you'll see that it's very Warhammer 40k and then Age of Sigmar sort of dominated. Occasionally they do other game systems as well, but I think you got to go back to, here we go, 4 months ago, the Troll Horde, 3 months ago, Vampire Counts and Wood Elves. That was the last one they did for Old World. I do watch their battle reports when they upload them, but it's just a shame that they don't do much in the way of Old World now. When Old World first dropped, they did loads and loads of videos, but that's kind of dried up a little bit. Like I said, you can subscribe and get access to their other back catalogue of videos, but for free content, it's about 3 months ago. But with that being said, they are a fantastic channel. I would recommend watching them. Like I said, the battle reports they do are some of the best on YouTube. Hold the line to the glory of the Empire. So that was my impression of Mordian Glory and his intros. Give me a rating out of 10. Was that on a scale of 0 to 10, Mordian, what would you give me? I don't know. Anyway, enough of me rambling. This is Mordian Glory. He's my next choice. I really enjoy his channel. He does everything. He does Warlord games. He does Warhammer 40k. He does Age of Sigmar. He does like Kill Team. He does Old World, which is what we are focusing on in today's video. Old World is what I play. And I've really, really enjoyed his Old World videos. He's got a Skaven vs Empire battle report, which I need to finish watching. I put that on the other day. I didn't get time to watch it, so I'm going to watch that soon. I've been watching this the other day about his Empire State Troops, because he's doing a lot of Empire content on his channel, because he's got an army, he's got tournaments, and what he does, he basically does like a video where he goes through every unit, why he's brought them. He shows like the paint job and stuff like that. It's usually like half an hour to 45 minutes video. And then he goes off to a tournament, he comes back and he makes like an hour and a half sort of video, and he'll go through each battle like half an hour of what he did at the tournament, and he does like stills, photos and slides and stuff of that battle. He does do live battle reports like you've got here with like Skaven Empire. He recently got a Beastmen army, so I'm quite intrigued to see what he does with that, and I watched his tournament video here about the Beastmen. So he's also done a Dwarf video similar. So Dwarves, Empire, and Beastmen, he's covered those factions so far. I really enjoy him. I really enjoy the battle report recaps. I think he's got a nice balance of, because it is difficult doing battle reports, having to get cameras set up, microphones, not having like other people talking at like gaming events and stuff and getting picked up in the background. It can be difficult to get a good balance, but I feel like he does it in such a great way, as my cat decides to say hello. I feel like he does it in such a great way where he's using photos and stuff, but it still makes it really good and really entertaining. So I would wholeheartedly recommend Mordian Glory. Okay, so number 5 and number 6, I'm going to throw them together, and you can interchange them in whichever way you want. Really, I didn't really know how to do this because they're more or less the same channel in a way. It's MiniWarGaming and it's Mountain Miniatures. Now, MiniWarGaming is like the main channel. It's the channel that's been going the longest. I think they've been doing this for like 13, 14, 15 years, something like that now. Their battle reports are fantastic. They did have a bit of a lull where they didn't do much Old World stuff on there, but that's because they do Mountain Miniatures where it is dedicated to Old World. So MiniWarGaming, the quality is really good. I enjoy the camera work. I started watching this last night, the Tomb Kings versus Orcs and Goblins, which they uploaded like 14 hours ago. Really good stuff. Battle reports take a while to watch, so I watched like a bit of them, go back, do whatever I need to do, and I'll come back and watch them like a day or two later and finish watching them. I'll leave it on like turn 2 or turn 3 and come back and watch like the end of the game, because obviously they're quite a large video to consume. So they've got that which I'm going to watch. But Scumbog's vision is what I want to draw your attention to. I've really enjoyed Scumbog's vision. Basically, it's like a narrative campaign where it's similar to Total War, where they've got all these different armies that they've set up, and they've got like a basic army at the start with named characters. They'll have like the Old World campaign map, and certain armies will travel to certain regions, and they will have a battle. They'll create their own narrative around it, and if they win, they can get like experience or level up, or just it's almost like an RPG kind of element to it, really, which is really, really enjoyable. If you've watched Sovel, which I've played on this channel in the past, Sovel is very similar to what they did in this narrative campaign. It is so good. It's a lovely spin on the kind of battle report. So I wholeheartedly recommend MiniWarGaming. Like I said, they've got quite a few of Scumbog's Visions videos throughout this, and they also covered quite a lot of Old World when Old World first released as well. But MiniWarGaming does, in fact, do other gaming systems, as my cat Solus decides to jump up and say hello. We're going to pick him up by here and hold him very closely, because he's also giving us his opinion on my list. So that's MiniWarGaming, and we're going to move then to Mountain Miniatures. Mountain Miniatures is like a sister channel to MiniWarGaming. It's Steve and I can't remember his name. Oh, I can't remember his name. It's Steve and the other guy with the beard, who I love. I actually love him as well. I think he's great. I can't remember his name. That's so embarrassing. It's because Solus jumped on my lap. It is. He's totally put me off my stride. It'll probably come to me later on. Anyway, this channel is old world. Very, very much old world. They have over 1,000 videos. They have a massive back catalogue. And ever since the game came out, like you'll see, Bretonnia versus Wood Elves a day ago. Empire versus Orcs 2 days ago. They got a review of the Warriors of Chaos Arcane Journal. 8 days ago, Vampire Counts Bretonnia. Dwarves versus Skaven. Dwarves versus Lizardmen. Lizardmen versus Warriors of Chaos. Empire versus Beastmen. It just goes on. And seriously, they are 1,000 videos, and it is so many battle reports with the odd like review or overview of rules changes or the books or things like that. It is insane. They do have a lot of Age of Sigmar stuff from like 8 months ago, but as soon as Old World dropped, like you can see they did a 5th edition battle by there, and then literally by here we got the rule change, the Old World book First Impressions. It just changes in straight away then to Warhammer the Old World. Covered all the different factions, and then just loads and loads of battle reports. So if you're after a large volume of battle reports, this is the channel to watch, Mountain Miniatures. I enjoy watching them. The only criticism I have is that the battle reports, sometimes the camera angles they use can take you, the viewer, out of it. But I know they've said, like in video stuff, they are working on that and trying to work on the best kind of way to make it aesthetically pleasing to watch, but also easy to record, because obviously there's two sides to the coin when it comes to this. Is making it good for the viewer, but making it good for themselves when making the videos as well. So with that being said, Mountain Miniatures, wholeheartedly I recommend them. So my cat has decided that he's not going anywhere, and he is going to remain here for the duration of the video. So he's sat on my lap purring. But enough about him. Let's talk about the Square-based podcast. So this is my next pick. This is Val and Rob. Val, I believe, is either Canadian or American. Rob is British. Rob is based in Nottingham. I think he used to work for Games Workshop. He does a lot of like stuff on like the tournament scene in Nottingham and stuff, and arranging tournaments and tournament rules and stuff. They have a bastion of knowledge of the game. They do so much. If we just have a quick look at their stuff, they go through like the preview of the roadmap. They talk about tournaments by here. A lot of it is tournament focused. Look at like an Empire gun line and stuff like that. The Chaos Dwarves and the Chaos miniatures release, the Dwarves release. They did by here the Arcane Journal reviews. They do like a deep dive of list building for each faction, which is so useful, especially if you're a new player such as myself. They look at the stats, so a little bit like what Malign Musings does, but they touch upon the stats as well. Like 4 months ago, they talked about it, and they bring up like graphs of what factions are working well, what factions aren't working well, that kind of stuff as well. It just everything to do with it is done. They look at terrain, using terrain in the old world. They even found on here, I found on here the other day, here we go, the best resources for the old world. That's good, like different apps like New Recruit and Warhol and things like that. Their channel, as the kids would say, is absolutely mint, and you should go and watch them. So we're at number 3 on the list, and we have Rogue Element Gaming. I've been watching Rogue Element Gaming for quite a while now, probably about like 6 or 7 months, and I love his channel. He's an Australian guy. His name is Stoss, and he primarily does Warhammer the Old World / Warhammer Fantasy. He was doing an awful lot of the 6th edition, which was really good. I really enjoyed his 6th edition stuff, and I was watching this before he started doing Old World. He did Old World a few months ago. He started doing some battles. He got Dwarves and Chaos Dwarves, Orcs and Goblins versus Warriors of Chaos, Dwarves versus High Elves, and it goes on and on and on. He does some like vlog videos, like hobby videos as well. He does have a bit of an accent, but his battle reports are so good. Like if I click on one of them by here, I'll just sort of zoom in. So I like the camera angle he uses. So he's sort of in the you sort of feel like you're on the table with him. Like this is the sort of angle you have when you're standing at the table and you're playing. His personality is infectious. It's funny. He comes up with some hilarious one-liners or cringy kind of comments sometimes. The paint jobs are great for him and his opponents. He has 4 armies that he uses. So he has Dwarves, he has Empire, Orcs and Goblins, and the Vampire Count. So he has 4 factions that he has at his disposal, And I think basically he has a Facebook page. People contact him via Facebook. They arrange like a date. They come over to like wherever he is in Australia. They do a battle report. At the start of the battle, they discuss who they are, what they bring in, etc., etc. They go to the table. They go to the table. They do what they do. What most channels do. They line them up. They go through each one individually. What magic items they have, what armor they have, all that kind of stuff. And then you go into the first turn. But before you get to the first turn, he started doing these great introductions where he'll put like a bit of a spin on it with the vampire counts. Are slowly crawling towards the dwarves, and he'll put like some kind of like spin on things, but it's really appreciated. It's good. I enjoy his battle reports. They are some of my favorite on YouTube. Whenever he uploads, I'm like, I'm there. I need to watch that, and I'll make time to watch it because I just enjoy them so much. So 100% I recommend Rogue Element Gaming. Next up, we have one of my favorite channels, which is Decrepit Gaming. I love Decrepit Gaming. I love his videos. He has been so helpful to me as well. So if you look at his videos by here, he does a lot of Warhammer the Old World. He does also do Hero Quest. But the speed painting guys, army painter speed paints are what I've been using for my armies. And I want to basically get my armies painted as quickly as I can and get them onto the table as quickly as I can. They don't have to be Michelangelo's David level of detail or quality or just be in awe of it sort of thing. They just have to be competent. They have to not offend my opponent. That's basically what I'm doing. I'm not a gifted painter. I'm new to the hobby. Obviously, I want to make my stuff look as good as I can, as anybody else would want to do. But I want to do things as quickly and efficiently as possible. If you feel like that and you're new to painting Warhammer miniatures, then his channel is definitely the one you want to watch. He has covered loads and loads of stuff. He does the Let's Build Dwarf armies. But here I really enjoyed that video where he looked at Games Workshop's release of the dwarves. He looked at how much would it cost you to get a full 2,000 point army given the Games Workshop website and prices and things like that. And he sort of gave you like a brief overview of what it would cost and what units you could bring and that kind of stuff. He has done basically a lot of painting stuff like squig hoppers by here. I have squigs, that's useful. He's done one of the Orc Wyvern. I have an Orc Wyvern, that's useful. He's done a tournament report by here of a tournament that he went to recently, which I really appreciate those kind of videos. He did his tournament list video for Tomb Kings. He has lots and lots of painting guides on Orcs and Goblins and an awful lot on the Tomb Kings, which is great for me because they're the two armies that I have. So yeah, he got like, snakes, he's got the horse archers, he's got the Necrolith Bone Dragon, which was an absolute pain in the ass to build because I find mine just breaks constantly. Ugh, that's another story for another time. But yeah, his channel is good. He's basically an old school gamer. He doesn't really follow the normal kind of social norms as a YouTube channel. He just sort of says what he wants, does what he wants, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to do it my way. I like my way. I'm set in my ways. This is what I do. It's up to you if you want to do it my way or do it your own way. Do you, I do me sort of thing. And I like that. I just like the fact it's just like, yep, this is me. This is what I do. Subscribe. So yeah, I subscribe. So I enjoy Decrepit Gaming. I 100% recommend him. So before we get to choice number one, I do have an honourable mention for Mediocre Hobbies. I enjoy Andy from Mediocre Hobbies. His videos are really, really good. I made my list. I was quite happy with my top 10. I started recording and then I remembered his channel and I was like, oh wait, I should probably like mention him. His channel's really good quality stuff. He does lots of stuff like how to transport your models, which is always a good thing to do. He does a lot of things. He does a lot of like Horus Heresy, D&D. It's not just Old World, but there are Old World videos as well. I seem to remember him doing like a Bretonia thing back a few months ago where he just did loads and loads and loads of Bretonia videos and stuff. Oh, we've got an Empire Handgunner by there, look. And he does like specific painting guides which are useful, using a various amount of paints. But yeah, Andy from Mediocre Hobbies, 100% recommend watching him if you haven't already. His channel is really good. And finally, we are here at number one. My top pick is Miniature Realms, also known as Stuart. I enjoy his channel so much. Whenever his videos are on, I'm like, yep, Old World, I am watching. Again, he does other content outside of just the Old World, but he does do a very, very handsome amount of Old World videos, which you can see by here. He's done some stuff on the roadmap. He's done the how to paint the fortified manor. He's looked at, he does discussion pieces where it's like, where does Warhammer go next? And I like it because he just sits down in front of the camera, a little bit like what I'm doing right now, and he goes, right, these are my thoughts and feelings, blah 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 blah, And he actually gives sort of good opinions that I tend to sort of agree with a lot of the time. And it's like, yeah, that's a reasonably suggested comment, or that sounds reasonable, or that's, you know, decent, that sort of thing. But yeah, you've got paint tutorials of how to do like Warriors of Chaos, how to do Bugman's Cart. He's got a lore piece by here, which I've started watching, which I need to finish watching, which is really good. He's got Skaven Rat Ogres for the Old World. Basically every sort of week, more or less, he has a paint tutorial on at least one sort of Old World thing. So like you've got like Lady Elise by here, which is obviously very popular if you're a Bretonia player. It just goes on and on and on. He's got so many Plague Rat by here, painting Plague Monks rather. Dwarven Mountain Holes tutorial on how to do the Rangers. You know, obviously Dwarves came out recently, so he's going to do a lot of stuff on them. And yeah, you can clearly see there's a very healthy amount of content, and his videos are very, very well produced. They're very well edited. There's always good lighting, and the paint jobs are always fantastic. But anyway, guys, I'm going to end the video here. I've been Dragonheart. Thank you for watching. Until next time, goodbye.